start, I guess so.
Yep. Okay.
So again, try to quiet your mind for a few moments. Then we can think, may our coming here together become cause and conditions to actualize the realization of true truth. And having realized the true truth, may we be able to develop the method, the compassion, and the wisdom. And having cultivated those two, wisdom and compassion, may we be able to overcome the selfish attitude and self-grasping ignorance, which are the fundamental and root cause of all the other afflictive emotions, delusions, and all the suffering. And having cultivated the highest level of wisdom and compassion, may we be able to obtain the two kayas or two body of the Buddha, the form and wisdom body. And having actualized, having obtained that, may we be able to be greatest help and benefit to each and every sentient beings, effortlessly, tirelessly, limitlessly. Okay. To the founder, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the four destroyer, the completely perfect, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, Lord of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of God and human beings, to you, the complete and fully awakened one, the endowed, transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, the subdued from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offering, and go for refuge. Homage to the Supreme Buddha, homage to the Dharma refuge, homage to the Great Sangha, to all three ever devout, homage to all worthy of respect, bowing with bodies as many as all realms, atoms in all aspects, with a supreme faith I pay homage. Do not commit any non-virtuous action, perform only perfect virtuous action, subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of Buddha, a star, a visual aberration, a flame of a lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew, and a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud, say condition, things as such. Through these merits, may sentient beings attain the rank of all things, subdue the four of faults, and be delivered from samsaric oceans, perturbed by the way of aging, sickness, and death. I prostrate to the archetypal gem. Thus did I hear one time the Bhagavan was dwelling on the mass of Vulture's mountain in Rasgir, together with a great community of monks and great community of Bodhisattvas. At that time, the Bhagavan was observing the concentration on categories phenomena called profound perception. Also, at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara look upon the very practice of profound perfection of wisdom and beheld those five aggregate also as empty of inherent nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, the Venerable Shariputra said to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara, how should any son of the lineage strength who wish to practice the activities of profound perfection of wisdom? He said that in the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra. Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wish to practice the activity of profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this correctly and repeatedly, beholding those five aggregate also as empty of inherent nature. Form is empty, emptiness form, emptiness not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, compositional factors, and consciousness are empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are emptiness without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, no division, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness, there is no form, no discrimination, no compositional factor, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no odor, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element and so on up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extinction with ignorance and so on up to and including no aging and death and no extinction with aging. And similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation, and the path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, Bodhisattva rely on and dwell in the perfection of wisdom, the mind without obscuration, without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three-time manifestly completely awakened and unsurprised for perfect, complete enlightenment, interlight perfection and wisdom. Therefore, the mantra of perfection and wisdom, the mantra of great knowledge, the unsurprised mantra, the mantra equal to the unequal, the mantra that truly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth since it is not false. The mantra of perfection and wisdom is declared, Tayatha Om Gade Gade Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Soha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva should train in the profound perfection of wisdom like that. Then the Bhagavan arose from the concentration and commented the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara saying, well said, well said. Son of the lineage, is it like that, is it like that? One should practice the profound perfection of wisdom just as you indicated, even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Bhagavan having thus spoken, the Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Arya Avalokiteshvara, and those surrounding the entirety along with the world of the God, humans, Asura, and Gandharvas are overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Bhagavan. Sa shibu ki chung shin me to tang re ra len shi yin de gen ba de sang ge shin do mi de o wa do ku nama da shin che para sho ye dam guru ra nam ta la ka ni ta ya. I go for refuge until I am enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly. By the merits I create to listen to the Dharma, may I become a Buddha in order to benefit all sentient beings. Sangye Chodang Soge Sonam La Changchu Badu Danega Lagi Chushe Gibe Sonam Dola Penche Sangye Duba Sangye Chodang Soge Sonam La Changchu Badu Danega Lagi Chushe Gibe Sonam Dola Penche Sangye Duba. So we have gone through the lamrim, middle lamrim, and within that we are on the sections of the great scope, and within that sixth perfection, within that last two, how to develop the karma abiding and special insight, and we are on that special insight. And within that, the presentation of the selflessness person and selflessness of the phenomena, and within the selflessness of or emptiness of the phenomena, then we finish the presentation of selflessness or the emptiness of the conditioned phenomena, and then non-conditioned phenomena. And now we come to a section where Je Tsongkhapa explained about the two truths, the presentation of the two truths. And the understanding of two truths is very important. Because that is the reality on the basis level. That is how things are. Because there is true truth, therefore there is the path, the method and wisdom. And because there is the path, the method and the wisdom, therefore we can achieve the two kayas, or the two bodies. So as I mentioned during the two kayas, the form body, so the body and the wisdom Dharmakaya body, as Nagarjuna says, I think it is in a Precious Garland, even though where he make a dedication prayer due to the merit of all these virtues. May we be able to actualize the wisdom and the merit. Here, the merit meaning the merit through the method, and through the merit, through the wisdom and merit, may we be able to achieve the two holy kayas of the body of the Buddhas. So, of course, there is slightly, what is the main substantial cause of the two? Sometimes there is a presentation of two kayas, sometimes there is three kayas, sometimes there is four presentations, but basically it all starts with the two kayas, and then when you kind of divide, then Dharmakaya, the form bodies has two, and then Dharmakaya has a two, so then it becomes four. But generally, it's a form body, and Dharmakaya wisdom body. Okay, so here when we say body, then we are not referring to a physical body. Okay, when we call two kaya or two bodies, we are not referring to. Basically, it's the Buddha's wisdom, and through that wisdom, the form that you take, and that through the form that the Buddha manifests, then that is how Buddha help and benefit. Rupakaya in Sanskrit, Rupakaya, and that has two different, whether it's Sambhavakaya and Nirmanakaya, and in Dharmakaya has two natural Dharmakaya and wisdom Dharmakaya, so then that's when we have four. Normally is the Dharmakaya, and there are slightly different, in Tantric and in Sutra, the cause of two kayas, So here is the presentations, as Nagarjuna is saying, is mainly from the Sutra point of view, the cause of Dharmakaya wisdom is the wisdom. Wisdom is the wisdom relies on emptiness. Is the main cause of Dharmakaya wisdom, and the merit that we create through the method, the loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, and through that, then engage in other practice of perfection, such as generosity, morality, patience, and so forth. Through that, we create the merit. And through the method, we create merit, and that is the main cause of the rupakaya, the form. Okay? So because of those two, method and wisdom, then there is the two kayas. And those two, the method and wisdom, can be actualized because on the basis, on the reality, on the basis, because there is true truth, because there is true truth. Because there is a truth, the ultimate truth, because there is ultimate and conventional truth, because there is true truth. So the wisdom is that that realize or understand correctly the ultimate truth. So wisdom arises from the ultimate truth. The ultimate truth gives rise to that, that wisdom relies on the ultimate truth. Whereas the conventional phenomena give the rise to the method, such as, loving kindness, compassion, and bodhicitta, and all other practice that is related with the method, because all these methods are related with conventional reality. The object of our loving kindness is conventional phenomena. The object of our kindness, the object of our bodhicitta mind is the conventional phenomena. The object of our practice, such as other perfections, such as generosity, morality, patience, joyous effort, shamatha, they all are conventional phenomena. And the object of the wisdom realizing emptiness is the ultimate reality. So those two methods and all the practice of method, many different practice of method, the object of all this practice of method and realizations is the conventional phenomena. And on the other hand, the wisdom, the object of the wisdom, realizing emptiness is the object is the ultimate truth. So that is where because of true truth, that is where wisdom and compassion, method come, and because of that, there is two kayas. So I think that is why the presentations and understanding of true truth become important. So because on the basis, because there is true truth, then on the path, there is two. On the path, there is the method and wisdom. And because there is on the method, because there is a method, and on the path, there is wisdom method, then on the result, there's two kayas. So then you can see, the basis, the path, and the result. So how it go in the same, because, so that is, and as His Holiness Dalai Lama always encourage, to study and understand the true truth and the Four Noble Truth, because they are the very essential and foundation of all the Buddhist practice and Buddhist teachings, regardless of whatever traditions that you follow. But those are the basic foundations, from true truth, then Fourth Noble Truth arises. The teaching, so it's the expansion. In a way, it is Fourth Noble Truth. The Fourth Noble Truth is the expansion of true truth, in a way. Okay, so we are on that where that there's where Lama Tsongkhapa is presenting the true truth, and I think in terms of the text, I think Bob has in the book, Bob has shared the page, and then John has shared on the PDF, so you all have that. Okay, So at the very end of the PDF, where there's a presentation conventional ultimate truth. So there you can see it has 4 outlines, or and then the first one, the basis on which truth are divided. What is the basis of the truth? And so here Lama Tsongkhapa explained earlier scholars have different views, but Lama Tsongkhapa said the presentations of component of the training by Shantideva, it is presented that knowledge, whether you call the object of knowledge or whether you call phenomena, that is the basis to divide into two truth. The true truth come from that, whether you call it phenomena or the object of knowledge. In other words, something that exists. Object in object of knowledge, something that exists, phenomena, they're all kind of in a way synonym. According to the study in the so. And the number of the divisions, so again, is true, the conventional, as it is mentioned in the Nagarjuna's fundamental treatise in middle way, those two truth are conventional truth or ultimate truth, so they are divided into two truth. So, yeah. And then the meaning of dividing into that ways, here I think it is a presentations of the relation between the two truths, and again, again, there are 3 different ways of, the relation between the two truth, whether they are same entity or different entity, or whether it is, so their presentation of kind of 3 different, and here Lama Tsongkhapa saying, in this own system, then proving the vitality of our own system. That is where the relation of same nature is good. So after Lama Tsongkhapa gives certain different view by the different scholars, then his own, Lama Tsongkhapa's own kind of view is that, according here, he said the relation between the true truth being same entity or same nature and different isolations is a good one, because according to Illuminations of the Middle Way by Chandrakirti, it says, that is not contradictory, even for non-functioning things. Because even for the non-functioning things, not only functioning things, even for the non-functioning things, so it includes all the phenomena. Therefore, the oneness of entity. So oneness of entity between the true truth, ultimate and conventional, they are same entity, one or same entity. Okay. And difference in isolate. But in terms of isolate, then they are different. So it's not contradictory, even if those two are to be differentiated, are non-functioning things, and either of them is functioning, non-functioning. So that is also in the explanation Chandrakirti's commentary of the middle way. It says 2 aspects of the one entity of all things are taught by the Buddha, and which are the conventional ultimate truth. So here it comes here. If you in Has Sudra, it also explained that, For example, form is emptiness. Okay, that explains the ultimate truth. Emptiness form, it explains conventional phenomena. Emptiness not other than form, it explains the relation between the conventional reality and ultimate reality, that they are same entity. Emptiness not other than form, and also form is not other than emptiness. What it explains is it is a same entity. It is the same entity. Those two truth. After having presented two truth, then explaining the relation between those truth is they are same entity. When we said different isolates, even though they are same entity, to our mind, they appear differently. When you think of conventional reality, when you think of ultimate reality, okay, in our concept, in our thoughts. For example, if we to give one example, I don't know whether this example is the right example, whether it's a good example or not, but when we talk about, Joe Biden, okay, when we talk about the president of this country, okay, or we can talk about the husband of Jill Biden. We can talk about the father of Hunter Biden, So to our mind, our thoughts, they all have, when you think of the president, it's a different. When you think of the husband, it's a different. When you think of the father, it's a different. But actually, we are talking about the same person, same entity. Do you get it? So we are not talking about totally different entity. So similarly, that is when we talk about same entity, those who truth are same entity. We are talking about the, same objects, reality of same objects. We are talking about the reality of the same objects and same entity in those two, but they have a different isolation in terms of the when it appears to the conceptions, the thoughts. So and so. And in the sutras, clarifying the thoughts, clarifying the thought by Buddha himself, which is part of the third turning of the wheel of Dharma. There is explanation. If it is not same entity, then there is four folds. If they are not different isolation, then there are four folds. Through that, but I think we don't need to go so details, in each of them. But I think here Lama Tsongkhapa might present very, very short and simple way of that. So then, here Lama Tsongkhapa says, every object or every subject or every object has two entity, both conventional and ultimate reality, Thus, with regard to the entity of each and every subject, there is both conventional and ultimate reality. Okay? So within each objects, within each phenomena, they all have two reality, two different level of reality, conventional level of reality and ultimate level of reality. All the objects have those two. And here Ramaswamy said that the true truth are, if they were not one entity, then it will also be very unacceptable for them to be different entity. So again, here, here we have to also, when such reasoning is brought, when such reasoning is used, you often see in Nagarjuna's writings, Chandagiri's writings, and here too, we have to understand that, if they were not inherently one entity, then there will not also, it cannot also be inherently different entity. And if there was neither of them, then it can't be existence, inherent existence. So I think that is what we have to understand this. Otherwise, if it's not same entity, then you can't say it cannot be a different entity. Otherwise, it doesn't make reason. Do you get it? If I say if it's not same entity, then it can't be also different entity, because there are. Are you getting the point? Here, because here you see, Lama Tsongkhapa is saying, if the true are not one or same entity, since it will also be very unreasonable them to be different entity, So it is me saying, if they are not same entity, then it can also be different entity, because it will be unreasonable. Are you getting the point? So if you don't bring the inherent, if it is not inherently existing one entity, then it can't be also inherently existing different entity. So then it makes more sense. And if they are not inherently existing and not, therefore it cannot also be, then it will be inherently non-existent. And because whatever exists necessarily exists either in one entity or many or different, separate, that we have already this. So if it's something inherently existing, it have to be either inherently existing same or one entity, or as a different or many or different or separate entity. And so I think we have to bring that, otherwise again the reason might not be. For example, otherwise the computer and this book is not same entity, but it is a different entity. Is it reasonable to be a different entity? So you can't say if it is not one same entity, it's unreasonable to be them a different entity. Do you get it? So that doesn't make sense if you don't bring that inherently existing, and that is where inherently existing same entity and different. Because again, anyway, I think I don't know whether it is whether it's useful or not. Sometimes we might get caught up in that too. Anyway, if they are not same entity, then they have to be a different entity. And if they are different entity, so here again, because okay, maybe it might come a little bit later as we read it. In the issue of mind of enlightenment, the conventional phenomena are explained as emptiness, empty of inherent or truly existence. Emptiness only is the conventionals. For sure, this does not occur without that, without the emptiness of that phenomena, the phenomena cannot exist. Without the phenomena, the emptiness of that phenomena cannot exist. The emptiness of the computer depend on computer depend on the emptiness of computer depend on the computer, and computer also depend on emptiness of computer, because that is the ultimate truth of that reality of that computer. If there is not ultimate reality of that computer, then it can't. So in a way, so then there again, as we talked before, there are mutual kind of dependent arising in that, Without the computer, there is no emptiness of computer. Without the emptiness of computer, there can't be a computer as well. Without the ultimate reality of computer, there can't be the computer, and without computer, there can't be a reality of computer. So they are dependent on each other. And just like the product and impermanence, the product and impermanence are same entity, but different isolate. So it is saying, different isolate. And I already explained with the example, why same entity and what different isolate means, so there is no contradictions being same entity and different isolate. Okay. So if the entity is same, it doesn't have to be same in every way. If they are different, they don't have to be different in every way. Do you get it? So that is where, certain objects, they are different entity as well as different isolate. Certain objects, such as here, there are two truth, even though they are same entity, but they are not same entity, same isolate, but they are different isolate. Even though they are different isolate, they don't have to be the same entity. So I think that is, I think there is one question. So is it the functioning of our perception? Joe Biden is the president and he's the husband and he's the same person, but we are describing him differently. Yeah, to our mind, when we think of Joe as a president, there is a different image as a leader of countries, as a leader. And when we think of him as husband, then we have different image of him, even though we are thinking of the same person, but then to our image, to our our thoughts, our conception, then there is image of him as a different, caring, loving, whatever. And then when you think of a father, then to our thoughts, to our image, then to our conception, then there is a slightly different image of him in that way, and so that is, so even though it is same persons, but when you think of him in a different, in a different role, or I don't know, that you have a different image of him, so that is a little bit kind of example just to give, but basically we are, roles, So here, then Lama Tsongkhapa gives certain why they are same entity. Here, if the sprout, for instance, were different entity from its own ultimate truth, so sprout is the conventional reality, conventional phenomena, okay, and its own ultimate entity is the ultimate reality. So if the conventional phenomena, such as the sprout, for instance, were different entity from its own ultimate nature, it will also be different entity from its emptiness of its true existence. So then it would be, sprout will be truly inherently or truly established or independently existence. If it is not empty of inherently existence, then it will be inherently existent, isn't it? There is no third possibility. Either if object is non-inherently existent, if it is not inherently existent, then it will be non-inherently existent. If it's not non-inherently existent, then it will be inherently existent. And so therefore that is why, they are, same entities. Therefore, since it's same entity, therefore is not different entity, it is one entity. Although sprout is empty of its own existence, is not its ultimate truth, because sprout is a conventional phenomena. Even though it is empty of inherent existence, but it is the conventional phenomena, it is not the ultimate phenomena. When we talk about two reality, the sprout itself is conventional phenomena, but the emptiness of sprout is the ultimate phenomena. Do you get it? So that is where it is that is where the Je Tsongkhapa is clarifying. And if there are, yeah, so that is why they are same entity and different, because in, let's say even in our concept and thoughts, okay, concept and thought image that we are talking about, I was giving about the example of Joe Biden. When we think of conventional phenomena, there is to our thoughts, to our mind, to concept, there is a image or appearance of some, something that established, something that exists, and something that is functioning, And when we have the image, when we think of emptiness, then there is the thought, in our concept, there is the image of non-existence, inherently. But of course, when we are saying here non-existent inherently, there's no appearance of functioning or existence. Do you get it? Whereas when we have when we think of conventional reality in our thought and mind, then it has a different image of something that exists, something that is established, something that is functioning. So therefore, to the thought, to the conception, then that is why it's a different isolates. Okay, same entity, different isolate. To the thought, and that you don't have the same image appearing, So then I don't know whether we need to, yeah, I think Je Tsongkhapa the next explaining, clarifying in some text, where it might say that truths are neither one or neither different, but Je Tsongkhapa is saying, it depends on different contexts. You have to understand everything from the context. We can't take everything literally, and we can't take everything same meanings. You have to under context. When they say it is neither one or neither different, you might find many passages or sentence or statement like that in many of the scriptures, but they might not all mean same. When it says you have to understand context, that is why important. So in some context, some of them is referring to inherently established one and different. So when they say, is neither one or different, in some cases, what it means is neither is inherently existing one or neither is inherently existing difference. So that is what meaning of those in other cases, is referring not being either different entity or one isolate. So again, it could mean different to even though it is the same words that you can find in different scriptures, that saying this neither one or different, that it could mean a different meaning within the different context. So I think that is where Je Tsongkhapa is clarifying of that, So again, it is to remind us we should not take everything, even though it's the same word, it could be many meanings and different things according to different contexts of those teachings. So we can't take everything same. And that is sometimes where the problem arises when we don't study enough. Then we see some statements like here and there, then we take it literally, and sometimes we find contradictions. Sometimes we misunderstand the whole full meanings of that. So then they're explaining the meaning of the individual divisions of conventional truth and ultimate truth, going more detail on each of them. And in terms of the divisions, why there's a division of two, in some scriptures they say, we don't need more than that, and if there is less than truth, if there's less than true truth, not all phenomena will be included, not all reality will be included, and we don't need more than true truths because all the truths are contained within those true truths. So that is why in terms of true truths. So then explaining little bit more detail on conventional truth, conventional phenomena, okay? And again, that has 3 points. Again, you can read, so I don't have to read each of them. And then, explaining the meaning of word conventional and truth. It might be interesting. I don't know how in English, how that will be, because here, they're playing with the Tibetan word. Sometimes it doesn't make sense when you try to do that in English word, but I will be interesting to see. Because when we say conventional truth, then there is 2 words, conventional and truth. When we say ultimate truth, then there is 2 words, ultimate and truth. So what is the meaning of truth? What is the meaning of conventional? What is the meaning of truth? What is the meaning of ultimate? So that is why the explaining of that. So that has also 3 kind of subdivisions or outlines. That was the conventional truth. Then that meaning of that it has 2. Then the first one, the actual meaning, So, as it is said in clear words by, again, Chandrakirti, as a commentary to Nagarjuna's writing, he explained the meaning of conventional, as a concealer of kind of hiding or concealer of the suchness or mutual dependent objects and worldly designations. So it's like kind of 3 different kind of meanings that it can, The later means worldly designations. That meaning is said to be defined as object of expressions, means of expressions, knowers and object of knowledge, and so forth. So they are not just designation of object possessors. So object possessor, the subject, such as the mind, that is the consciousness and expression here. So normally when we talk about subject, it can be mind or the dato, the word, because you describe by your mind and you describe by your words. So expression here meaning kind of in that way, The object of knowledge and object of expression should not all be held to be conventional phenomena, because ultimate reality, the emptiness, is object of knowledge, but it's not a conventional phenomena or conventional truth. Okay. Also, ultimate reality, the emptiness, can be object of expression as well, described by the word, even though the word cannot describe exactly, but still it can be described. So that any objects of that, something that is object of knowledge or something that is object of expression, all does not have this conventional phenomena, because emptiness is both object of knowledge and object of expression, but it is not conventional phenomena. So that is where. So in this regard, conventional or relative, which is the concealing the consciousness, which perspective, form, and like are processes that truly exist in the first of the three. The concealer of suchness, that is the first of the three. Because here in Chandrakirti, he gave the meaning of conventional three different meanings. The first one is the concealer of suchness, and then there is the mutually dependent objects and the worldly designations. So Je Tsongkhapa explained what is the worldly designations did, and then here now is coming to in regard to the the first of three, that is the concealer of the suchness. So because the ignorance that perceive object to be inherent existence, okay? The ignorance that perceive the object to be true inherent existence, okay? That ignorance is that is said to be the concealer of the truth or suchness or emptiness, because that ignorance obscure or hide the true reality, the emptiness. Do you get it? So in terms of when he say the conventional, when the Chandrakirti explained conventional in those three, and the first one, when he's a concealer of suchness, what he is referring to is that ignorance. That ignorance can be understood as a conventional because it's hiding the suchness, or is obscuring or obstructing from seeing the reality clearly. So that is why sometimes when you say conventional phenomena, so here is playing with the word, what the word means, sometimes, and I don't know the playing is the right word that I use it, but sometimes when you take the meaning of the word itself and actual meaning, it can be different, but here it's talking about the meaning of the word in a different ways, how it can be. And so that is where it is. And so why it is, so that is where ignorance about. And so then that ignorance, superimposing and grasping as truly existing the object, is just a mental perspective. That is not the reality. That is not the reality, but it is just a creation of that ignorance. It is just a mental perspective. It's just, yeah. And so that being so, then coming to the middle way here, ignorance is constantly for those obscure nature. Its fabrication made on them truly existent. So what it fabricate and superimpose that ignorance is, to the object, is that truly existent or inherently existent. Inherently existent or truly existent, even though there is none from the object, but that ignorance superimpose or fabricate made it. And therefore it is called conventional truth by the Capable One here, referring to Buddha, and fabricate things he called convention. And then again, also it says in this way, conventional truth are posited in time being under the power of afflictive ignorance, which is included in the link of existence. So that is the first 12, the first of the 12 link. The first of the 12 link is the fundamental ignorance. And here, so that is, so when, okay. So, so when we talk about conventional truth, then, you know, when we talk with that, how can that be truth? Okay. How can the object be truth? You know, so it is true to that ignorance. You know, it is true to that ignorance. So that is why it is conventional truth, even though it's not true to the, you know, the Arya beings who have realized the emptiness directly. Do you get it? For those beings, such as those, whether it's higher Arya beings, whether it's solitary or Priya Arya beings, whether it's Bodhisattvas Arya beings, those who have a direct realization of emptiness, to their mind that is perceiving the emptiness directly, to that mind, the conventional phenomena are not truth. Because the way conventional phenomena appear does not exist, do not appear to their mind as it exists. Whenever conventional phenomena appear, they appear inherently existence to the mind that perceives it directly. Okay? Conventional phenomena, whenever it appears to the mind that perceives directly that phenomena or object, it always appears as inherent and truly existence. Do you get it? Yeah, let me again repeat it. Whenever conventional phenomena appear to the mind that perceives it directly, that conventional phenomena, whatever that conventional, whether it's computer, whether it's a book, whether it's the light, whenever it appears to the mind that perceives it directly, it always appears inherent existence. Okay? And to those bodhisattvas, not only bodhisattvas, all the Aryas who have perceived the emptiness directly, the mind that is perceiving directly emptiness, to those minds, to that mind, nothing exists inherently. Nothing appears inherently existence. You know? So therefore, to their mind, conventional phenomena does not appear. We are not talking about conventional phenomena not appearing to all their mind. But here what we are saying, it does not appear to their mind that is perceiving the emptiness directly. Do you get it? They have many mind. They have mind that is perceiving emptiness directly, and their mind that is not perceiving emptiness directly. For example, loving kindness, compassion. They have also eye consciousness. Their eye consciousness doesn't perceive emptiness directly. It's a mental consciousness. Their loving kindness, compassion, bodhicitta mind doesn't perceive emptiness directly. But they do have the mind that perceives emptiness directly. So when they are in that meditative, when they have that mind that perceiving emptiness directly manifesting, not only there is no appearance of inherent existence, but there is no even appearance of conventional phenomena. The only object that appear to that mind is emptiness. the ultimate reality. Do you get it? Yeah. To that mind, the only object that appears is ultimate reality. Even the convention for when they are meditating on, let's say, emptiness of the computer, okay? And when not only meditating, when they have the direct perception of emptiness of this computer, there's no appearance of this computer. Only that appear to that mind is the emptiness of the computer, not even the computer. And so therefore, conventional phenomena, whenever they appear to the mind that perceives them directly, it always appears inherent in existence. And so therefore, it is only truth. Conventional objects is only truth. It is called truth because it is true to that ignorance, because the ignorance believe everything is truly existence, and it appears to that as truly existence. But it is not truth to the Arya being's mind that is perceiving the emptiness directly. Do you get it? So there is, even though conventional truth and ultimate truth, even though both of them have this word truth, okay? When we say conventional truth, we say ultimate truth, they both have this same word, the truth. But truth to whom is a different. Do you get it? Now are we clear? So that is where that is where it is trying to explain. Okay, even though we use same truth, but they have different meaning. In a sense, truth to whom? It's something that can be true to you that might not be true to me. Do you get it? I was listening. Now now in this modern time, especially this difficult time, now there is a concept of macro truth. Everyone's has their own truth. So something like that. Even though everyone is using the word truth, but it doesn't mean same meaning. Do you get it? Truth to whom? Now at the moment in this divisive country, we all say true, but it has different, something that is true to that person is not true to me. Something that is true to me is not true to that person's. Okay. No, they see, the Arya beings, they see flowers, computer, everything. They see directly, but the mind that see the computer and the mind that see the emptiness of that computer is not same mind. Okay. The mind that perceive the emptiness of computer directly and the mind that perceive the computer itself is a different mind. They do perceive the flower or the computer. Their eye consciousness perceive the computer, but the eye consciousness cannot perceive the emptiness of the computer. It's the mental consciousness that's perceived the emptiness of the the flower or emptiness of the computer. So therefore, even though they perceive both reality, conventional reality and ultimate reality, but the mind that perceives ultimate reality directly, that doesn't perceive conventional phenomena, and the convention that they perceive conventional directly does not perceive the ultimate reality, the emptiness directly. So it is a two different state of minds, even though Arya they themselves perceive that. Yeah, definitely. The experience of enlightened being is different from our mind. Definitely, there's no doubt about that. And even within the enlightened beings, there are many different levels. Like the Arya, or the arhat and highly realized bodhisattvas, they can perceive both reality directly, but they cannot perceive both reality directly by one consciousness. Whereas Buddha, fully enlightened one, can perceive both reality directly by same consciousness simultaneously. So for those Arya, they see both, they can perceive both reality directly, but it is with a different consciousness. And whereas the fully enlightened one, they can perceive, both reality directly with all the consciousness, or single consciousness, you can say. So here, I think the explanation is trying to say, even though we say truth, so the conventional, in terms of conventional phenomena, the truth is referring to that ignorance, is true to that ignorance, because whenever conventional phenomena arise or appear to the mind that perceives them directly, it appears in inherent existence. But in reality, it does not exist inherent existence. So it can't be true in reality, but to that ignorance is a truth. Okay. And whereas those areas, who have overcome the ignorance, abandoned the afflictive ignorance, they see composed things as resembling of existing mirror image and like that. So, they see the way things appear to them does not exist as it appeared to them, because they have understand emptiness directly, or emptiness, so that to them, whenever those objects appear, they see it as like illusions, like a mirror, the image of the face in the mirror, or the image of the moon in the lake. So they see that, and so they are fabricated nature rather than truth, when you see them, because they do not exaggerate them as truly existent. So those Arya beings, they do not exaggerate, because they understand the emptiness, realize the emptiness, so they do not exaggerate and fabricate and superimpose the truly existent into the object. And therefore to them, it appears as a conventional, not a true. Okay? I don't know, when we use the English word, sometimes I don't know if it makes sense, but in Tibetans, so for them, it's kuntsop. Kuntsop here is translated as a conventional, it's just a kuntsop, because, to them it's not truth, because to them they see it as a false, the way it appeared to, even though they appear in truly existence, but they recognize it's not truly existence. They recognize it is like an illusion, like the image in the mirrors, and therefore to their mind is not truth, is merely conventional, but not a truth. To others, it becomes conventional truth. It's not a convention, but it's truth, because it appears as truth and it believes as a truth, such as the ignorance, or those ordinary beings who do not have those realizations, So I think that is where. And to the children who have not, here children referring to those who have not understood the emptiness directly. Okay, so here the children is referring to ordinary beings who do not have the direct realization of emptiness. Okay, they are deceptive, but to others they are mere conventionals. That is where to others here means those who have direct realization of emptiness, and such as here Prithiga, Buddha, and Bodhisattvas who have abandoned the ignorance because they have direct realization of emptiness. For them, it's not deceptive, but for them is a mere conventionality due to their interdependent arising, similar to that of illusion and light. So for them, it's not a truth, but it's a deceptive, and it is merely conventional, but not a conventional truth. Do you get it? So here, that is where you're trying to distinguish two words, conventional and conventional truth. And then here, for those beings, it is only merely conventional, but not a truth. Because for them, they understand it as a false, deceptions. They don't hold as a truth. For those who have not understand emptiness directly, then there's a grasping of truly existence, but therefore it is not only conventional, but it is a truth, conventional truth. So I think that is the word. That's, I don't know, I wasn't sure whether I wanted to go through all of this, sometimes it becomes a little bit too, what do you call, a little bit too intellectuals, academics, and of course, to understand more deeper, it is always good to go or understand that deeper, but also for a lot of people, that is not their sole interest. That is not so much of their interest. And so then they started feeling kind of lost, boring, and maybe not useful, yeah. So again, I don't know, again, maybe I can read a little bit, I don't know, now there is a difference between conventional, okay. Again, it comes to small, subtle differences here. This statement does not indicate that whatever conventional truth are posited as existence. They are posited as existence due to ignorance. Nor does it indicate that perspective of the mind of a hearer, predictor, and both those who abandon affective ignorance, conventional truth are not posited. So it, how does that sound? So here, what it is saying, Lama Tsongkhapa is saying, everything that is posited by the ignorance does not have to be conventional existence. Do you get it? Everything, now, because ignorance, here is statement does not indicate whenever conventional truth are posited existence, they are posited existence. For example, ignorance, proceed, okay, truly existing as to exist conventionally, okay. The ignorant think and believe truly existing is existence and it is conventional existence. And ignorance proceed that. The ignorance proceed that this computer is truly existence and it exists. That truly existence exists. But in reality, it does not exist. So therefore, anything that can, by any mind that is posited as a conventional reality doesn't have to be a conventional reality. It has to be a valid cognitions that poses as to exist. It has to be valid cognitions. Because there are many mind invalid cognitions, such as ignorance, that poses as something exists, but in reality it does not exist. Do you get it? Because previously we have been talking, conventional truth, and is truth in relation to that is only true in relation to the ignorance. And now, because of that, there can be confusion. Now, anything that ignorance proceed, that will exist. And so Lama Tsongkhapa made clear, even though ignorance proceed truly existing as existing, but that is not how it exists. So that is what is here making those clarification. And then even though we said, not we said, but it is explained that for those Arya beings who have direct realization and emptiness, even though we said it is explained, that conventional phenomena are not conventional truth to them. It is only merely conventionality. Do you get it? We already said that. So here it is saying, those who abandon afflictive ignorance, nor does it indicate in the perspective of the mind of hearer that who abandon African conventional truth are not positive, because those Arya beings also have the mind that conceives the conventional phenomena. As we already, they have the mind that conceive or perceive both ultimate phenomena and conventional phenomena. And therefore they perceive conventional phenomena or conventional truth. Okay? They perceive conventional truth. They perceive both truth. They perceive both ultimate truth and conventional truth. So I think that when we talk about, even though conventional phenomena are, merely deceptions and not truth to those Arya minds that perceive the emptiness directly, but at the same time, those Arya being realize and proceed both truth. So therefore, there is no contradiction here. That is what Lama Tsongkhapa is saying. It doesn't mean that they cannot proceed the conventional phenomena or conventional reality or truth. It's just saying to their mind, that particular mind is just merely conventional. It's not truth, because that mind does not exist as truly existence. And that's, or in other words, let us maybe if I put that way, maybe it might be a little bit, I don't know whether it might be a little bit clear or maybe more confusion. I don't know, sometimes you try to clarify things, you create more confusion. The conventional phenomena are not true to the Arya's mind that perceives the emptiness directly. Okay? There's not even appearance of conventional phenomena of that mind. But, even to the mind that conceive, all phenomena as illusions, okay? Because they have direct realization of emptiness, and so they have also mind that perceive all the phenomena, all the conventional phenomena as like illusions, like a mirage, like a image in the mirrors. So to them, all these phenomena, the conventional phenomena, because they see as like illusions, therefore they see it as a false. Therefore, to them, they don't see it as a truth, as it appears. Because it appears truly existent, but they know it's not truly existence. Do you get it? So for them, it is merely conventional, but it's not a truth. Okay? Are we clear with that? Because they realize it's a deception, because they realize it is like illusions. So therefore, for them, they see it as merely conventional, not a truth. But they have the mind that perceives this computer, that is conventional reality. And they can perceive this conventional reality or conventional truth, because this computer is conventional truth. And so therefore, they're not being truth to their mind, because they see as illusions, and they are able to perceive and they are able to proceed as conventional truth. There's no contradictions. Are we clear? That is where he's trying to that is where it is Lama Tsongkhapa trying, because there could be some misunderstanding. Then you think, oh, because they are not truth, they are merely conventional, those conventional phenomena, they are merely conventional, they are not truth, therefore they cannot perceive the conventional truth or reality, or they cannot perceive and proceed the conventional. So that is where I think that's where the difference differentiates, the differences, trying to clarify those differences. Mm. Okay. I think the reason is already, I think Lama Tsongkhapa give those reasoning, but I think I kind of explain um, in a not same way, but I think I have explained a little bit that way. Yeah, here is conventional truth. Truth cannot be posited and the mere conventional. So I think that is all. Yeah. Then explaining about truth, word truth, and in a clear light, that which is truth for the world in concealing manner is wholly conventional truth. And this is explained also in the explanation like this comment in the middle, that which is due to concealer appear truly existing, and while not existing inherently, appear as separate, is true for the wholly erroneous concealer, therefore is wholly conventional truth. So again, it is only true to the that ignorance and that mind that appear as truly existing, only to that. The conventional, when we talk about conventional as being truth, only relation truth to that mind, but not true to the Arya minds. But it's not the conventional truth. The truth of that truth is not to the Arya minds. So that is so here, in accordance with this clear statement, only conventional truth should be understood truth for the concealer. So that is the ignorance, which is the ignorance explained earlier. They should not be understood as truly established conventionally, because there is no truly established phenomena. Because there is, otherwise it will be contradict as a system, the prasangika, which established by the way of an own character is impossible, even conventionally. Truly existing is does not exist conventionally, even so also the reputation of true existence and proof of lack of true existence performed conventionally. Mm. The explanation of Master Janagarbha in abundance of conventional truth also should be understood in this manner. Mm. Yeah, so when we by using reasoning and logics and analysis, when we refute the true existence and try to prove and lack of truly existence, again all of them are proved conventionally. Everything is proved conventionally. Everything is um, mm, clearing the doubt about it. I don't know when you are with the English word, or whether all this doubt comes arise or not. But when it comes to Tibetan words, sometimes the words like kunzop ki demba, kunzop demba, very small changes, and it makes huge difference. Kunzop and demba and kunzop ki demba, and so there are small differences, and then sometimes those can make a huge, one can misunderstood completely due to that small differences. And sometimes I think so that is where I think some of explanation here Lama Tsongkhapa is trying to clarify that some of those issues. But I don't know when it comes to an English term, whether you won't have that kind of difficulty or not. But for example, truth of ultimate and ultimate truth. In English, I don't think there's much difference, isn't it? One example. Ultimate truth or truth of ultimate, or conventional truth or truth of conventional. But in Tibetan, it can mean it can have a different meaning and different like that. Now, then, one may think from the point of the view of concealer, the apprehension of true existence of reality and true self is true. Yeah, from the point of view of the ignorance, the true self, the self of person and phenomena as truly existing, as well as the emptiness, they all might seem appear to be true, equally to the ignorance, to the ignorance it can be. Therefore, there could be truthful concealer. So then you might think, emptiness can also be a truth for the concealer. So that is where, both of them. If that is so, what is the merely true to consider apprehending true existence where posited as truthful consider, such would indeed be the case. However, that has not been propounded. I'm trying to read the Tibetan version. We're not changing the denye. Okay, sometimes I think it's better not to read the English. So then I think I'm going to read the Tibetan, and then I'm trying to explain in my own way. When I read that, sometimes I get even more confused. So here is saying, that for the emptiness, and not for the ignorance that is grasping truly existing all the objects. Okay, the ignorance grabs all the objects as truly existence. Whether it is a truly existing self, whether it is truly existing person, the true self, or the emptiness itself. Emptiness itself, to that ignorance, it grasps both the true self that does not exist and the emptiness. Equally, it grasps equally truly existence. And so therefore, it becomes both emptiness and both self that do not exist become true to that ignorance. Okay? And so it becomes truth and conventional to that truth. If that is so, then the doubt arises. Then with the emptiness become true. With the emptiness become conventional existence, because it is to that ignorance. Do you get it? So the questions arises: is the emptiness conventional existence because, or conventional truth, is the emptiness conventional truth because it is conventional and truth to that ignorance? So then here is saying, yes, if we proceed that something that is truth and something that is conventional ignorance is truly conventional truth. If that is the case, that will be the same, but that is not the case. Here he's saying that not everything becomes conventional truth because it is conventional and true to the ignorance. Do you get it? So if that is the case, then why you explain? It is just explanation of that word, word of what conventional means, what truth means. So it is explaining, but it does not establish there's something that is conventional and true to that ignorance. In reality, it has to be conventional truth. Do you get it? So such as the emptiness. The example here, the emptiness is conventional and is truth to that ignorance, but in reality, it's not conventional truth. So anything that is conventional and true to the ignorance doesn't have to be conventional truth. But when we explain what does conventional mean, what does truth mean, then it is explained in that way. Because it is conventional to that truth, because it's true to that ignorance, then therefore you explain the meaning of each of word, but actually something that is conventional and true to that ignorance doesn't have to be the conventional truth. The example such as the emptiness itself. Okay, so are we clear? I think with that clearing the doubt, that is what it is. So yeah, sometimes I think when I read the English, I get even more confused in certain. So sometimes I have not to read it and just read the Tibetan, but so they can hold both views simultaneously and not be confused. You mean by the Aryas or the Buddhas?
Yes, Geshe. Yes.
The Buddha or Aryas?
Both.
Yeah, the Buddhas, they can hold both simultaneously. Of course, the Aryas, they don't hold with one mind simultaneously, but they can hold both reality those view reality, and definitely they don't get confused, but actually it clears the confusions. For us, so because they don't say contradiction to each of them, both reality, both reality, there's no contradictions. If there is a contradictions, then that can clear the confusions, but definitely there is no confusions.
Thank you, Geshe.
So we do the dedications. So I guess maybe you might have to read a little bit more and contemplate so that, Due to the merit of this virtuous action, may I quickly attain the state of Guru Buddha and lead all living beings without exception in that enlightened state. Chanjo semjo rinpoche, make bana kekyoche, kyawa nyamba mebaya, konle kondo pe wara sho. The wish granting, wish fulfilling Jew, source of every single benefit and happiness in this world, to the incomparable Kaitenze Yaso, I beseech, may all your holy wishes be spontaneously fulfilled. Tu chang xin chang gun jia wei, ten zin zhong bei wei kun so to hu le zhe, qiao song gu wei le ma tu zhu, ba da so du jie gun du xiao te xiu. In rule 1, to you whose those kindly exist, that of all conqueror for those wandered in faraway places, especially in the West, mindful of your loving concern for us and intentionally descending again into the family of far distant land, we make this request, O Lama, please live long. Thank you very much, everyone. Thank you very much. And you can sleep with a lot of confusions, and maybe you can have a lot of dream about true truth and what conventional means, what truth means. You can have a lot of. Okay. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, Geshe.